What is going on here? Sure. Hello there.
How's it going, brother? Good to see you. Yeah.
Same.
What's up,
Hey,
Jan?
Jan.
What's up? What's up? I just came from the gym actually. Hmm.
How are you? Where are you from, Jan?
I mean I live in Berlin and Vienna, but I'm originally from Stuttgart.
Okay.
Yeah,
It's good to
yeah.
see you, brother.
Yeah, yeah,
Welcome.
I remember you. I remember you from the Unleash the Power event.
Do you want to share a little bit about yourself with the guys here that they may
Uh,
not
sh
know you?
Hey,
sure,
bro.
sure. Are you guys familiar with Twitch?
Yes.
With
Yeah, yeah.
Twitch?
I stream on Twitch. I started playing video games 10 years ago professionally, and I traveled around China, Japan, Korea, America to play the games, like for a team. Do you guys know the Dallas Cowboys, the football team?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, I play
Um,
for them. They have a video game area section, and I play for them card games. So it's mainly I'm not so fast, but it's more like I used to play chess when I was younger. So what I did, I played for the first 5 years from 20 to 25. I just traveled around, played tournaments, and got professional. And when COVID hit, I tried to transition that into a business. And I always streamed, but never as a main incentive. And then with COVID, I just went all in on streaming, and streaming like Twitch just skyrocketed. And that's what I'm doing till now. And in my 30s and till 32, I we're searching for ways to professionalize not only the business, also the passion aspect, because I feel like every time you get like in the 30s, or like what I hear from my surroundings, it's like, let's say you get like a decent amount of money stream in, and suddenly you have other questions, right? So for myself, it's more like right now I'm into like life building, and since in my 20s, I went just all in, and I just followed my passion. And this is where I am now. And yeah, also trying to connect with people who have the same mindset. Mm.
Nice. Welcome, brother. Grateful to have you here, bro. It's nice
Good.
to see you again, and I'm grateful that you took the time to jump on.
Yeah, I just saw it and I was like, hey, it's amazing. You have amazing background, by the way. So it looks great. Like, is
Yeah,
this
this
your
is
room?
this is my studio.
What exactly do you do, Eric?
So I'm a creator and I'm really focused on the development of, conscious culture, redefining this type of culture inside of organizational development, and harmonizing energy,
Cool, cool, amazing.
capital, and labor so that people ultimately are creating an even more conscious economy ecosystem that
Cool.
creates prosperity and changes the future, as we know it.
That's amazing. No, it's very nice. I uh, I think it's a very important um thing to do in our society right now. Because yeah,
Yeah, it's everything, from it's every moment, every experience, everything that I commit myself to with every breath of my life, consistently. And
yeah.
so this is something that I'm very grateful that I've discovered in myself. And then as a result, moving forward with that level of certainty has also been something that has attracted so many great people like the ones that you see on this call and many others. And so, it's really about trusting in oneself, but this was something that I didn't know. I didn't know that I didn't know that we can all do that. And we can, which is so
Oh,
beautiful.
yeah, it's true. I had this myself, like especially when I started with the journey. It's not that bad anymore, but these when you do something out of the system, but you have these self doubts, and also when you're like in your, let's say, old friend environment, and like I had these, especially in my 20s, these constant self doubts, and I don't know where I came from. But yeah, I guess it came like I was always kind of an outcast. Also, like in school, I was never really part of the like. Later on, sure, but I was always just in my own environment, kind of like I was always gaming when I isolated myself a bit. But yeah, I this is how it was for me. The certainty is hard to find, I feel like. I mean, you build it, right?
Well, you find it in yourself when you start
Mm-hmm.
realizing that everything and everyone is the teacher.
Yeah.
you start creating a level of wisdom around you that teaches you, so
Mm-hmm.
that you no longer become the master, you become mastered by listening. And
Mm-hmm.
what I mean by that is you become a master of the listening, but you become the ability to take that what is being shared around you and turn it and transmute it and alchemize it into reality.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. With your, I guess, the way you process and you reflect about it as well, right?
Well, the process and the reflection becomes the reality in the moment, because you have to, I was just sharing, you have to, without a shadow of a doubt, you have to ventilate, or you have to communicate, you have to talk about it, because otherwise it's stuck. And when you create we've all heard this saying before, when we create a war within ourselves, it's actually
Mm.
worse. It starts showing up
Mm.
around. So it's
I,
so important to be vulnerable and truthful and integral, or else you can't move. For myself, I'll speak for myself, or else I can't move forward fast. You
fair.
know?
I'm
Yeah.
so surprised every time, like especially when I shared my vulnerable side. The outcome which I had in my head was always so much worse than the actual outcome. Like when I shared it, then it's always this is quite uplifting for me. You know, like especially when you're like showing weaknesses. Always had the feeling I shouldn't be weak in certain scenarios, but then the people around you are like, yeah, I understand it, I get it, I have the same thoughts, and you're like, yeah, okay, cool. So it's funny, and it makes you happy because you're connected and you don't feel like that alone. Mm.
Well, it's fascinating, because then you realize that you've never been alone,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, sure. I agree with
And
that. That gives me a lot of let's say fuel as well.
yeah, yeah. Meet my brothers on here, Sagita, Shaw, Alex.
Yeah.
Let me see. Hey, cool. Yeah, I saw you. You look like a very smiley person. I like it. I can tell it. The wrinkles on your eyes.
Yeah. I was born with them, I guess. Or developed. I'm not sure. I need to look at the pictures.
What are you doing, Sigitas?
What am I doing right now? I'm more or less living, doing not so much, helping my
Mm-hmm.
brother with the house he's building.
Mm-hmm.
Also in a team with Eric. I'm working as a visionary counselor. It's a bit difficult for me every time to put in the words what I do, but like listening, a lot of listening when people need to
Mm-hmm.
ventilate. I hear out, I reflect back, I share my wisdom, share the knowledge, reinforce, support, so everyone who is around me can go deeper to the heart and pursue whatever anybody is pursuing.
Mm-hmm.
I have a dog living in a
Cool.
van, a little bit placeless at the moment. Still don't know what to do. The winter is coming. Don't know where to go. Am I running away? Kind of also have internal situation that is alive currently, where I need to make some choices or I don't need to make choices. Kind of, I don't know, man. It's it's a bit weird state at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like difficult to get myself into one piece. Enjoy fully.
Mm. What?
It feels like I am. For me, it feels like if I stay here, I need to go back to work, which I don't see myself doing for money. So kind of a little bit looping there, stuck. don't know how to add
Mm, mm,
value, how to make a living out of what I love doing.
mhm,
So focusing at the moment, just adding value left and right as much as I can with my all potential.
mhm.
And yeah, Eric Shaw is my brothers that is collaborating. And yeah,
What brings you joy every day? Like, what are the little things?
that's the thing. There's the joy brings me then, like when somebody reach out, when I can add value, when I can move the energies. That's the joy. That's my fulfillment. These calls are my fulfillment. When I
Mhm.
can add value, it's like, for example, I was sharing that I go and help my brother with the house, and it feels like I'm just pleasing myself. So I would feel better, like
Okay.
when I do
Okay.
that. So yeah, like the joy is difficult for somehow to find these days, and it's been maybe 4 days right like this. So
Yeah, I mean, it's
more
not
like
easy sometimes. It's
yeah, and I kind of repeating to myself, this too shall pass. This is kind of the same mantras, and for me it's very important that I don't run from myself, that I don't run for life. So this is what I'm trying and doing. This is what I'm doing to stay in check with myself, that I genuinely feel through, what is the calling, what's my next step.
mm, Did you have a point in life where you felt like you arrived? Like you're like when you think back, did you have like a point where
Yeah, yeah, I did
what
have.
led to that, or what was it like? Can you describe it?
Yeah, it was my marriage with my ex-wife,
Mm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and that's
And
a big part that is kind of missing for sure.
okay, yeah. I mean, I'm also lonely a lot. Like not like lonely, but I'm alone a lot. And it's I yeah, I also had a girlfriend, and when you separate and such, and I mean, it's not the marriage, I guess it's not another thing, but yeah, sometimes I always feel it. I also feel like, damn, it would be nice to have someone. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's I was sharing that with Eric, that marriage felt like, yeah, that's a certainty.
Mm.
And then it flips back, and there's like, oh, there's no certainty. So it's like, so I guess I'm still hangover from that as well, process of
Mm. How long is it?
readjusting.
Or like
Hey
since
guys,
oh, hey, how are you doing?
hey, how
Now,
are you?
how are you?
Eric, you have to time the calls differently. Every time I'm on the way or somewhere. I'm very good. I'm very good. I didn't want to interrupt you, but I just had this question coming up in my mind, and then you were talking about this topic, so I've got my ex-girlfriend just ghosting around in my mind every day. Maybe you have like,
I know that feeling.
Like
yeah.
doing what? Can you repeat?
Well,
What she's doing?
she's just, she's staying in my mind. Like she's coming and popping up, and I'm just tired of this. And maybe you know how to, yeah, deal with that, or like just get rid of that, or some like, I don't know.
Mm.
But I
So
think all of you experienced this, so
Yeah,
I would
yeah.
like to share here because this is important. And the other day we were going through a process where people were asking me why I am doing what I'm doing, and I broke down into a few different tiers pretty profoundly. Sagitas was on that call, and I recognized that I didn't have the tools with my ex-wife to save that marriage.
Mhm.
And I think my hallucination is that most of us would take even more responsibility of situations if we were aware of the tools that we can integrate. And in even more is having the compassion of knowing that they may not have had the tools as well. And this, I think, is profound because from those experiences, whether that's going on in our minds or our emotions or what's happening in terms of the relationships with the people that we've loved in the past, and we still love them in multiple different ways, just on different dimensions. However, what I have found is that by being held in a space where I could fully express myself and be able to fully transmute that, there was a level of compassion that I felt from the people that were present. And so it gave me the ability to have that compassion for myself, to have that compassion of, wait, like, you did the best you could with the energy that you had and the awareness that you had in that moment, and the universe had a bigger and better plan. And I wouldn't be this man who I am today if I didn't go through that experience. And so, Alex, what I just really want to emphasize is that maybe you don't need to let it go of the thought or the experience. Maybe you actually need to feel it and have compassion to transmute it, and maybe cry into it or feel it. So whatever it needs, or be angry about it, whatever the emotion is, and allow it to really hold that energy of compassion. So as a result, you can have that compassion for yourself. This is my perspective.
Thank you so much for sharing. Wow. Do you think, like, first of all, yeah, I'm doing this, and I thought I've done it already, like multiple times, going into each and everything, but it's just not every time, man. You said you've missed the skill. You didn't have the skills, both of you, to save your marriage. And do you think that yeah, that you have them now, maybe, just for the next person who's going to come to your life, or
Absolutely. The next person that meets me, or that I attract, she's gonna get the best, most outstanding version, because I take responsibility in every area of my life now. And so as a result, there's so much certainty that I can bring to the table, but it's because I'm just certain of myself. It doesn't mean that I know everything. It means that I have the courage to figure it out.
Wow, yeah, I can see that. Wow, amazing. Like that answer.
Have you also tried dating again? I mean, not like
I haven't actually. I mean, there were a lot of girls. Like, it felt more like cheating if I would date somebody else. I don't know. You know this?
I did something a while ago, and it really helped. Like, I started getting two females in my, like, let's say, friend circle, so I can talk with them about it. That really helped me. Like when I just went out and such. Like, it's just nice to have that female perspective. So I mean, it helped me to reflect a lot of things down, which I would have probably not gotten to there. And I had the cheating aspect as well, and it's just like, it's probably, I mean, for me it was like this. In the end, it was more in my head. Like, I felt like, because I was still attached to that person emotionally, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't have to do like the superficial oh, I get her out of my mind sleepover thing. But I mean, if you search honest connection, I mean, there's nothing wrong about it, right?
True.
Unless yeah. I mean, it worked for me, and I mean, I'm still single. But and I also, I can only empathize everyone, if you're on dating apps, to get off them. That I feel like they affect us more than we think. Like, since it's very superficial. And yeah, and now just as Eric said, work on yourself and be genuine.
But what I've also, like, learned in this time was that I was growing so much. Like, I can't even imagine all this pain. I was just transforming it into growth, and just, this is so amazing. And I would take this advice, Jan. I will go on. And I have to leave the call now. But Eric, I wanted to say thank you, first of all, because I was with Tennessee this weekend. So thank you. And I'm going to meet Hal in Portugal.
Oh, you're gonna go meet Hal?
Yes.
Nice.
And
Well,
Carolina, maybe?
I'm happy you spent time with Tennessee, and make sure you take a couple pictures and drop them in the group with Hal as well, and give him my love, please.
I will definitely. So thank you, Eric, for connecting us. Everyone, much love and see you in
Peace.
the next call. I'm going to fly tomorrow. Let's see.
Have a good
Nice.
flight, man.
Thank you.
Peace, bro.
Gina and Jacob, welcome back.
Hi.
How are you doing?
Hello, Gina, Jacob.
Hello.
How are you guys?
Amazing.
Amazing.
Hey, we just bought a car.
Oh,
Beautiful. Congratulations.
Thank
Thank
you.
so much.
What car did you get?
It was a Fiat 500. We bought
Oh, nice. Nice. That's a good
so much
car.
fun.
Cool. Congrats.
It's just 4 wheels and it can fit the dog.
Perfect.
It's great.
That's all you need.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like regarding women and relationship, I look at it like anything in life. You can manifest it and you can track it. And especially when working on ourselves, we become the version who attract the feminine energy. So one thing that worked for me, you can try it if you want, but it worked for me was to write 10 personality traits you want in a woman on a piece of paper, and then you keep it in your wallet. Because when I met Gina, I could check off every one of them, every single one, except the one that I draw a stroke of. But I added another one, and I could check that one off. So I can really recommend it. So the one I took out of the list was cooking. And I wrote like a woman who likes to work out, and she was a bodybuilder back then. So be careful what you wish for.
I love it. It's perfect.
maybe not careful, but be very precise, because I feel
Yes.
like the precision
that.
is it's like when I look back in the way I manifest, is like I can call myself as a clumsy manifester.
Mm.
And that comes from laziness, not expressing fully what I want.
Yeah. And it's definitely like that. And I had a goal for years, that was to work on myself. So when I know I meet the love of my life, I'm sure I will attract her and keep her.
Beautiful, and really beautiful advice with having written on paper in the wallet the qualities, because that feels like you carry the electromagnetic signature with you,
Exactly. Yeah, it's like
and that
manifesting.
it vibrates for sure.
Yeah. Just don't put a face on it. You can even visualize it, but don't put a face on it. Right? Because you want to attract the personality. You can't choose the face.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can really recommend that one. But
It's
it
a
takes
good
some
one,
time.
for sure.
2 years. But then I found her. And we got married
Great.
4 months ago.
Yeah.
How long
Oh,
ago?
nice. Congrats.
So much.
How is it
4
being
months.
married? Is it different?
No, not really. It's kind of the same.
I heard it a couple of times now. Like it's just the same, but different. Like just yeah.
I mean, it's exactly the same. Nothing has changed.
Nothing changes. It's just a bigger commitment. I mean, we got engaged pretty early, and I'm really happy for that, because in the toughest of times, I think we did separate because we were engaged, because we committed, right?
Commitment is good. I like commitment.
Commitment is really good.
Yeah.
And like one thing I've noticed for almost like a pattern with many people, they try to decide with the head. You can't do that with love. You got to decide with your heart.
Hmm.
Are you with me?
It depends. Yeah, I mean, it's a mixed feeling. I mean, I see it as a whole. Like, I mean, the head belongs to the heart for me, kind of. It's like, I always liked it. When I heard someone say once, it's like the mind is a tool. It just belongs to the body as the heart. And I guess it's just like not the way I would rephrase it is for myself at least. The head shouldn't take over as the main part, but I think the head certainly, for me at least, it has its role there, right, to guide the heart.
No, I think it's the other way around. The heart is guiding the head, and the head is the servant of the heart's intelligence. The heart's wisdom is always the one that is creating, and the intelligence and the intellect of the mind is what then allows you to make sure that there's coherence. If you're aware of the intelligence, because here's the thing is, if it's coming out of alignment and your head is being not the tool or is not being the servant, then your heart will lead you into some really painful experiences. But you have to have the ability to understand what is going on around you. So there's intelligence, which is super important, but that's what creates the amplification of your heart's wisdom.
Interesting. Yes, it's an interest. It's very deep. I don't like. I'm not even. I'm not in that level of depth. Like it comes to listening to my heart at least. I can. It's interesting. It gives me something to reflect on for sure.
Think about it. When you don't need to think about your heart's beat. You don't even have to think about it. It happens for you. There's a wisdom and an intelligence that is communicating through your whole body without you needing to do absolutely anything.
Interesting.
That energy comes from an infinite level of source intelligence.
Yeah. I had this a couple of times when I felt that kind of that had this kind of feeling, and also like the coincidences where I'm like, it's unreal. You know what I mean? I guess for myself, I was kind of blind to it. Like when you start paying attention, you kind of start noticing, and I start noticing it more for sure. And not only to love, also like to people you meet and such, and the way you, let's say, inhale these situations. I feel like they happen more and more. You know, like maybe I just pay more attention to it. But it's a very, very good take. Thank you, man.
Yeah. Shaw, how do you follow your heart, brother?
Thank you, bro. Well, really, since I've been learning to be more present to everything more and more, it just becomes more clear. So like things become more clear, and not always like actually speaking about the woman partner situation, there was a young woman who there was interest at the event that I was at, and then there was a whole bullshit scenario, and I was sharing with Sigitas like I needed clarity on it because it was a complete, mind fuck for like 2 days. I was like, I couldn't corral my mind. My mind kept thinking about her. It kept thinking about the situation. It kept thinking about everything that was happening, and I was like, this is crazy. Like, this isn't me. Like, like I'm not driving the ship right now, basically. You know what I mean? And I was like, this is bullshit. So, but I just sat with it for a while, and I was like, I need clarity on this. And I'm gonna sit here until I get clarity on this. And I was like, and then I did, and I was like, boom, and I was like, she's not the woman for me, you know? And I ended up sharing that with her, and the situation still is, she's calling me, and I have to clarify it more, and we'll have that conversation. So, but yeah, I definitely feel like the more you focus on the presence, on the awareness, then the following of the heart comes very quickly. I feel like you get more clear. And I've also like noticed that it's whatever is needed in that moment, because I've I guess gotten an idea in my head at times of what the heart should be, right? It's like a certain kind of emotion, but what I've realized is that it can be anything depending on what the moment calls for. You just have to step into what's needed. So yeah, that's how. I hope that makes sense.
Beautiful.
Mhm.
How have you been, bro? Do you want to share anything?
I've uh I've been good. I've been really good. I went to FOA, which was an event with Acom, and it was very clarifying.
Can you explain what FOA is and what ACOM is and who does it? For those that are completely unaware of what that all means.
Yeah, it's FOA's Field of Awakening. So it's Acom is Acom Oneness. It's a spiritual university in southern India. And I went there for almost 7 months. It's a academy that's basically focused on uplifting human consciousness. So I still go to some of their events when they're here in the US to kind of keep that grounding going and keep that journey going. And I really felt like it was needed for me in the past like 1 or 2 months. I really felt like um I needed some more grounding. So it was really important. And this event, they have a different theme. This event was awakening to causeless love. So other events, might be awakening to one consciousness, awakening to every event is about awakening to an enlightenment or a transcendental state of consciousness. So yeah, this one was about causeless love, and it was very fitting because in that whole situation, when I was experiencing the causeless love, it was like I was not there was no need anymore. There was no emotional need of like a female presence or companion or anything like that. It was just like I loved everybody for being a part of life. And that was just my being. So it was like that was a huge teaching moment was, I don't need that relationship to feel that love. Not saying that I wouldn't appreciate that relationship or desire it, I would. It's just like it showed me that the neediness, even if I don't express it and I don't go out really, it's just like in the emotion is not needed. You know what I mean? Like if you were in that state of causeless love. So it was really transformative. Um, and I had, some really clarifying moments. Um, I could say, I had a process where we were like, let each emotion out, of each different region in your body, like the different emotions. So, you start with what was it, disappointment or guilt, and then it goes up to anger and rage, uh, and then sadness and grief, loneliness, and I feel like there was one more, but yeah, it's basically you're going through all the different states that are like blocking your clarity and the energy from flowing through you. And yeah, I had some really clarifying moments um with my dad, and specifically I really let my rage out, and that was hugely impactful, powerful. Uh and I mean, it brought me to the space where I was clear and I loved him, and I was a little I was like, I hope no one's like tripping balls next to me, because I was like berserker mode, like on everybody, but just in my own space. But it was great to let that out, let that energy be free. And yeah, it gave me the space to forgive my dad. And I went to actually meet with him on Monday for the first time in a while, very long time. And I actually talked with him, and met with him, and we were able to become brothers without an expectation. Like, and I shared that with Sagitas, and he said, I love how you don't have an expectation. And I really appreciated how he said that, because it's true. It's like I'm just going in there a blank slate. Like, I wanted to hear his perspective, and I did, and I appreciated it, and I loved him for it. And I was like, you know what, Dad, like, I forgive you in my heart. And I just gave him the biggest hug, and I was like, let's just be friends. And so it was really, really beautiful moment. And yeah, it's changed my life in a lot of ways. So thank you guys for the space and allowing me to share. I just felt all that coming through me. So
Congrats, man. I'm happy for you.
thank you, brother. Thank you.
Bro, this is huge. This is so big, bro. Thank you for sharing, man. This is so important. Do you know how much like transmutation of energy you transform through that? It's so profound, man. Thank you for sharing this.
Thank you, bro.
And to be vulnerable and to share, this is something that, yeah, dude, like, thank you just for being so powerful and willing to also forgive, because that forgiveness is for you.
Thank you. Thank you, bro. I I wish I could give you guys a big hug. That's all.
You
Yeah.
got an emotional hug. It's there.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. I'm not as good with words, so it's just the feeling.
That's bullshit. That's bullshit. You just created a lot of great words. So don't tell yourself that story.
Mm. Thank you.
Yeah. It's interesting. He just said his amazing story, and then like, I'm not really good with words. Funny.
Yeah. Sometimes when the emotions overcome me, I
That's
just,
bullshit.
huh? I shy away, I guess.
Yeah, I
That's
said like Tony, like, that's bullshit. But yeah, yeah,
I love
great
it.
story.
Yeah. I love you all. So thank you.
So, for those also Ekam in this human consciousness experience that Shah is talking about. So Tony talks about Anandagiri and Krishna Ji a lot at Date with Destiny, and so that's the space that Shah is talking about. Anandagiri really healed a lot of stuff, and Krishnaji healed a lot of stuff with sage going up and down in the plains. So just so you guys are aware. So that school in India is also where I went to go spend time with Anandagiri and Krishnaji, and I also interviewed Preethaji, his wife, on the podcast, and that's how Anandagiri introduced myself and Shah. And there's also, you know, a couple others, I mean, a lot others that I met. But that's how, you know, this whole thing comes to fruition, is like it's all interconnected, right? It's all so profoundly interconnected.
Yes.
We
How
all
did
stand on. Go ahead.
Sorry, how did you enjoy your time at ACOM with Loka Foundation? I was always curious about that.
What specific questions do you have?
Well, I was like, what were you? I mean, you interviewed the Sri Preethaji. Like, were you just checking out Loka Foundation, or were you helping Andagiri ji with the project? Like, I was always curious of how that was happening, or like what was going on. Just for curiosity's sake, I was like, you know.
Yeah, so there was the walk that happened with the Loka Foundation that we integrated. However, for me, it was an even deeper curiosity about the culture. So, as you know, I really pay attention to what people are saying, but I also focus on behind the scenes of how that's being integrated behind the scenes and what's in or out of alignment. And this is so important for me because by listening and observing, I get to see what's real or what's not. And so really spending time with Loka Foundation, I really loved the youth and how the youth really focused on serving the existing villages around the space. I felt very connected to Anandagiri, and he's just a really a good man that really cares, and I could see that he's very connected to the earth. We spent a lot of time one-on-one, you know, and then spending, you know, a little bit of time with Krishna ji and Sri Pritha ji on the interviews, but I really connected even more so, like I said, to Nandagiri and his ability to really be curious, but also to share. He's a really beautiful man, just a beautiful soul. And I think that this is one of the great things that we discover is that, you know, there's so many people on the front, you know, you can call them, you know, Tony Robbins, Krishna Ji, Prita Ji, or, you know, many others, Sadhguru, or, but there's so many people behind the scenes that really make it all of what it's worth. Like, that really brings so much energy to the space that are not in the light. I mean, they're in the light because they're very connected to it all, but what I mean is that they're not needing to be put on a pedestal or whatever, because they're just so centered in their knowing. And there's nothing wrong, obviously, you know, being at the front, you know, there's nothing wrong with shining your light either. It's just that recognizing that we're all shining our light in different ways is really what I think is super cool. So we all have different roles, we all have different responsibilities, and when you realize that it's actually by coming together, you discover that's where the culture is, that's where the community lies, is like it doesn't mean that, you know, the person that may be speaking on stage or speaking to the whole audience is any less important than the advisor that is in that speaker's ear every moment. It means quite the opposite. It means that that advisor is being listened to, and that other 100 other advisors are being listened to before anything is projected out by that one individual, because there's enough curiosity and intelligence being manifested by listening to so many different people all at once. And then from that place, the heart speaks. And this is what I talk about. That's why the heart leads first, because ultimately, a curious mind will listen and then will feel, and then from that place will share its own foresight or own truth. Versus if you're just about the mind, you're just going to be constantly listening or thinking and not doing or embodying, or you might not even share because you might not have the you might have not have had the transmutation of really seeing what resonates. And this is what I feel a lot of the great masters do. They're able to really corral a lot of information, recognize the patterns, utilize patterns, and create new ones, and then as a result, create their magic. But it happens because there's so many people around them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel like what you're saying with the people around them, it always, I mean, I'm a person who I always followed my heart, like most of the times at least, but I also got hurt badly by it, which also made me grow. Doesn't mean I'm not still like, I feel like always when I'm following my heart, who helps me the most, also like really lean into it, are like the people around me, since they it's for me at least, sometimes it feels right, but also a feeling of uneasiness in some way, because suddenly you follow something which you're not conscious of, or you're unused to it. Maybe it's a different space, you know. And the people around me always make me then fully believe in it, and that really helps me to also lean fully into it and just experience it.
Well, that's the magic, you know, because if you're leading yourself, you're being led by your heart, and you have the awareness that you're leading yourself with your heart. You then have the conviction of knowing that the principles that guide you will be the ones that define you. And as a result, you build relationships first with everyone that's around you. And it's the relationships that give you the congruency of then going deeper into their specific wisdom. Because each person, you know, this is kind of what when people say, you know, in the 3D world, what do you do versus who you are? And so I like to always focus on the capacities of who are you? You
Cool.
know? And fundamentally creating that deeper alignment of who a person is. And then as a result, the curation of what they do will kind of fall into place of what the needs are of that space, because the doing is a mind construct. It's the being that keeps us in the heart.
Okay, but isn't that doing also not linked with the doing? Like, don't you do things because you follow the heart? Also, isn't it linked?
But what I'm saying is that you don't have to do them because you're already being them. So when you're following the heart, it's your identity.
Mm-hmm. I like the rephrasing a lot. Like, who are you? I like that a lot over what do you do? I like that a lot. That's it's a way nicer way of asking someone if you want to get to know him. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
As Dr. Joe Dispenza is saying, from knowing to doing to being.
Mm.
I guess maybe that's why it's difficult for me to answer the question, what am I doing? When you asked in the beginning of the call, it was like, what the fuck I'm doing? I don't know. Being. I'm just being. When something shows up, I deal with it. The rest of it being.
And this is why Tony also shares, one of the most beautiful thing Tony shares, and what I love so much about it, by the way, is your purpose is what's right in front of you in that moment. That's your purpose.
Being present, you mean?
Showing up.
Mm.
Whatever it is, right? Like if somebody's calling, answering, either holding space or either sharing or whatever.
Or not sharing, or
Or not
whatever.
sharing, picking up a garbage, walking by, or it could be anything. Like it has no. I guess that being in that level of service, that's where it's difficult somehow still to, because it's not doing, and I like for myself, it's like it feels like I've been doing in doing state for quite many years. So being is somehow still uncomfortable, though probably has nothing changed. I always been as well. Cannot be. It's more like a mind, I guess, needs to relax. Yeah, it's really healthy conversation somehow. I feel more calmer in the being present. Thank you everyone for showing up. I see it's our time running out.
What a beautiful call today. Thank you all for being here. I think this is a great way to end it, and let's keep going tomorrow. Big love to you all.
Thank you so
Thank
much
you,
for
Jan, for showing up.
Enjoy your day,
And
everyone.
and I really want to admire Gina and Jacob for showing up together. That's very beautiful. That's so fucking inspiring that you do together
Oh, you look
find, or
amazing in the white. It looks amazing, that outfit. I love it.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Take care now.
We love you both. We love you both. It's always good to see your beautiful smile and your powerful couple.
Yeah.
We love you guys.
Yeah.
Ciao,
Enjoy your
everyone.
day, everyone. It was nice
Bye.
being with you.